go at it or stripe it. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa for those of you who are new here, and thank you so much for watching. In today's video is the 2023 Project Pan Kickoff. Now this will be my second year of doing Project Pan. If you want to know how the first year went, I will link that playlist down below, and I will talk about what changes I'll be making based off of last year and my experience last year. So there'll be some adjustments that I think I'll be making because I think last year I made some mistakes which probably hindered me to, actually using products the way I wanted to, what I wanted to do. I'm kind of all over the place, so hold on. So my goal last year was honestly to see how many products I'll actually use up or hit pan on, as well as really dive into what products I'm reaching for, what kinds of products I'm reaching for. And I definitely discovered a few things. So I found myself overdoing it, put it this way. I put way too many products in the project, which too many of the same kinds of products as well, too many eyeliners, too many lipsticks, too many blushes particularly. And I found myself not touching some while making a whole lot of progress on the others. So I don't want to do that this year. So if you're new to Project Pan, the best way to describe it is focusing on certain products in your collection, whether it be skincare, hair care, food, makeup. For me particularly, I focus on makeup, and how I go about it is a combination of a couple of things. I know some creators kind of separate this, but I go at it as a combination of Project Pan and shop my stash, as well as testing. That's another aspect where if I have a new type of formula, I maybe put it in the Project Pan. I did that for the Colourpop Cheek Dew last year, and to see if it's something I'm really reaching for and I'm liking the formula. And I also kind of go about it where almost chopping block. I think that's the best way to describe it is I've had a product in my collection for a while. I don't feel like I've been reaching for it, and I want to discover why. So the way I approach it is definitely a combination of a lot of different things. So that's the overview. I have shortened up the amount of products, and I don't really have multiples of the same kind of product except for maybe 2 I'm looking at here. And I have actually only 9 products that I'm kicking off in the pan. So that's really exciting because last year I think I kicked off with 15, and I think that was a little ambitious, but I want to be a little bit more intentional with it, as well as with purchases I've making. And actually I just recently put up a testing new makeup video. If you have not seen that, I will link up in the eye down below. I'm actually wearing some of the products on my face, and some of them don't look so great. So if you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend. It's definitely a funny one because it wasn't what I was expecting at all. Granted, right now my face looks okay because some of my other products have definitely saved some of the products I'm referring to. But yeah, I would definitely check that video out down below. But without further ado and rambling too long, let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to go into the order of how I apply my makeup and kind of just go from there. So I don't have any primers. I don't have foundations or concealers. Last year, I've actually finished up 2 concealers, which I was really proud about. And I'm happy with my concealer collection right now. And it's really, really small. So I feel like I don't need to intentionally pan those items. And foundation, and not really. Same with powders. I'm really happy with the products I have, and I don't feel like I'm using one over the other, so I kind of rotate through those. Now on to brows. Now I have had this product for a while, and this kind of kickstarted my love of more the laminated glue kind of look of my brows. I actually have the new NYX brow glue in my brows right now, And this product is actually what kickstarted me wanting to try some of the brow glues and brow gels. And it is the Makeup Revolution Soap Brow. And you'll see in the close-ups that I have a decent dent on it. Also, the packaging is kind of gross because how this works, if you don't know what a soap brow is that this is like a bar of soap, essentially. And actually, some people have used just I've actually used a bar of soap to brush through their brows and kind of get them to stay lifted and feathery and kind of glued up in a sense. And this is what that kind of product is. I've actually used a decent amount on it, but I found myself not reaching for it, and I don't want it to go to waste. And it's really nice. I've used this on like special occasions where I don't want my brows to move at all. And what you do is you actually spray, like for example, I use the hyaluronic acid setting mist, and I spray it in here, take a spoolie, brush through it, and then brush that through my brows. That's how I've been doing it, and I found myself not really reaching for this, so I wanted to put this in the project this year to see how far I'll go with it, and hopefully I can hit pan on it. I feel like I'm pretty close, and I want to use it up before it actually goes bad. So as you can see, it just looks kind of gross. I've kind of cleaned up a little bit. It's just from the spraying. And, it is kind of a soapy material. It's definitely very, very waxy compared to like the brow glues. This is definitely the most waxy formula that I have. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in. My hair is just, I don't know what's going on with my hair. And like I said, I need to go get it. Honestly, I just need to go get it done. And I'm finding my curling iron is on its last leg, so there's that as well. Okay, now after brows, I'm going to be going into some cream products. Now, the first one is actually, I think this is the only cream complexion product, and this is the NARS The Multiple Cream Blush Stick, and it's in the shade Orgasm. As you can see, it is very, very pink, and I bought this because this was used on me by my makeup artist in one of the trials, and I really liked how it looked on my skin. And I love cream blush and bronzer. I'm a huge fan of it. Honestly, that's probably a product I wear every day, and I really liked the look of it, and I liked the stick form. And so I went out and bought it, but I did find myself not really reaching for it. So I went ahead and put it in the pan. I think it's one where it's really easy every day. I just take the stick and I dab it on, and it looks really good, and it actually blends out really nicely. I haven't tried it where I take the brush and go at it or stripe it. That might be one thing I try to do. But I really like the glow of this. I can kind of swatch it here a little bit, as you can kind of see. Nice glow, very creamy, and it's really easy to blend. Honestly, when I wear this, I don't wear a highlighter because it's just so glowy, and it's nice. As you can see, you can sheer it out if you really wanted to. I didn't really swatch a whole lot, but yeah. You can sheer it out, it gives a nice glow. So really excited about that and seeing how far this goes. As you can see in the close-up, I'm doing a different tactic with a lot of these like pencils or sticks, and where I'm actually using dashes like on a piece of paper to really see my progress. Last year I didn't do that, and I think that's where I kind of got a little discouraged. So that's what I'm starting with this year. And yeah, so that's my cream blush. Now going on to powders. I'm going to be using the Colourpop pressed powder blush, and this is in the shade Jet Set. This was from their Wild collection a couple years, I want to say 2 years ago. But as you can see, it's definitely a more bronzy kind of a shade, and it actually has a little bit of glow. I use this as like a natural blush. I feel like it's not the right tone, at least for my personal preference of bronzer, but it does have a little bit of a sheen to it, almost like there is some glitter. But I think it's a really nice neutral blush if you have like a more heavy eyeshadow look, at least how I do my makeup. If I have a very colorful eyeshadow look, I will go into a blush like this, just add some warmth to my cheeks. Or sometimes I don't put blush at all and I just use my bronzer for that. But sometimes I just want a little bit of a different tone than my bronzer. And I'll go in with this, even though this honestly looks very similar. Like for example, this is the Makeup Revolution bronzer shade Cool 01 Cool. And as you can see, this is definitely a lot more orangey. And I just don't particularly like that orangey of a bronzer. So yeah. Yeah, so that is the powder blush I'm gonna pan. And now for the highlight, I'm actually gonna be going into an oldie, and I don't even think they make this anymore, but I've hit pan on one of them, but I haven't really on the others. So I'm gonna kind of be focusing on other pans, but this is the e.l.f. Glow Gleam Bean Palette, and this is in the lighter shade, I think. Where is... and yeah, it's in the shade Light. As you can see, I have hit pan on this middle one because this was honestly my perfect highlighter shade. This was actually the first highlighter like palette that I had, if not the first highlighter. And I want to focus on these other shades. I can use these as eyeshadows, or if I want to use them as blush toppers. I don't see myself really touching this glitter because that's just not really my style or makeup preference. But I'm definitely going to see how much more I can get out of this, and then also create and also use more of these other shades as well, and just see how far I get. I don't think e.l.f. sells this anymore. If anything, it's on their website. Again, I will link everything I'm talking about down below, but I think this is really good palette if you're able to get your hands on it. Still, I really like the highlighters. You have options of being a little bit more subtle, or you can get super sparkly with these ones up top. So yeah, that's my highlighter for the pan. Okay, going on to eyeshadows, I am putting in the Colourpop Run Wild Super Shock Shadow, and it's actually an ultra glitter. This was also in their Wild Child collection, and this is one that I've reached into a lot. It's a nice brown that was really pretty all over the lid, and it's easy, like one of those, it's honestly one of those one and done kind of a shadows. I've used this by myself, put it on with my finger, and then brushed it out, and it's been amazing, and it's really easy. There is a lot of glitter in it, just FYI, and I think you can still get this, but I have a decent dip on it, as you'll see in the close-up, but I'm wanting to see if I can maybe hit pan on it, and it's one it's honestly my most used Super Shock, so I want to see how far I can go with it. The last thing for eyes is this LA Girl Perfect Precision Eyeliner in the shade Arctic White. This is my only white eyeliner, and I really like it. It's really bright. As you can see on here, it shows up a ton, and it stays a long time on my eyes, which I'm finding is becoming difficult for some of my other eyeliners, like my Colourpop ones. I don't know why they're not staying as long as they used to. I don't know if they're starting to get expired, but yeah, this one, I use this all the time, and I'm wanting to see actually how much progress I make on it. As you can see, it is a very, very long eyeliner. It is a wooden pencil, so you have to use a sharpener on it. But yeah, we'll see where this goes, honestly. I think I can make a really good dent on it. Okay, and then the last two products are lip liners, actually. This first one is one I've been in my collection forever, and it is the Estee Lauder Lip Defining Pencil in the shade Spice. I think I got this as like a gift or part of a gift, like someone gave it to me. I don't know, like I don't really remember, but it's a wooden pencil, and it is actually my only peachy nude lip liner. Is definitely a lot more orangey, and it's warm toned, where my other like nude eyeliner is definitely more cool toned. So I reached for this when I'm using more of a peach, where I'm wanting more of a peachy look. I've used this on my own, I've used it on its own and just put a gloss over it, and it looks really, really pretty. Again, it's a wooden pencil, so we'll see how far I go with that. I think I can make a pretty good dent on it, honestly, especially knowing that this is in my project and it's just going to be one I reach for a lot. I find myself gravitating towards orangey, peachy kind of looks with like blue eyes or like a smoky eye like this, and then putting like orange blush on and then a peachy nude lip. I find myself doing a lot. I know I definitely do it in the fall and winter just because of the warm tones I'm definitely gravitating towards. And then right now I I'm really liking the cool tones, and I don't know why they've just been gravitating towards me, but yeah, I've been really liking them. So the next eyeliner. Oh, I just realized I skipped over an eyeshadow palette. So the eyeshadow palette I'm going to put in is the Colourpop That's Taupe eyeshadow palette. Speaking of cool tones, this is actually some of the shadows I'm wearing today. I'm wearing Bedrock. Wearing this Bedrock in the outer corner, and then I'm also wearing this Super Shock, I believe. That's a Super Shock. It's in the shade Slated, and that's just on the inner portion of the lid. This was my first cool tone palette, and I really like the neutrals. It feels like really easy just to put in Pebble Beach and then leave it by itself, or do a little bit more glam look of putting any of these shimmers on the inner portion of the eye. I definitely think it's a lot more purpley leaning than my other cool tone palettes, but I really like it. I have a huge dent on Pebble Beach. This is like my perfect crease shade that I reach into all the time. But yeah, I wanted to put this in there just to see, honestly, if I can hit pan on Pebble Beach, as well as maybe try to test out some of these other shimmers that I haven't really touched a whole lot of. I've done it all matte look and it's been really pretty as well. So yeah, that's the eyeshadow palette I'm going to put in. And then the last product is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk. This was in a holiday set where I got the lipstick of Pillow Talk in it as well, and they're both minis. And I reach for this one a lot. I'm actually wearing it today with the Colourpop Fresh Kiss in the shade Strike a Pose over top. And I really like this lip liner. I like the matte look of it. I've worn it on its own with some gloss, or just completely matte on its own as well. And it actually lasts a long time. This is actually helping keep this lip cream is very, very slidey. So I don't know, it's not exactly my favorite, but I love the color of it. And I think it's just a great, your lips but better, or your lips but more opaque kind of a look, especially since my lips are not exactly the most opaque. So that is actually all of the products I'm doing in my project pan. If you have seen my previous series from last year, I like to switch things out as well. So if I find myself just like making a ton of progress, I'll leave it in. Or if I find myself like just getting a little discouraged and I just need to step away from it, I'll do that as well. Or if I use something up, I will add in new products as well. But yeah, that is the 2023 Project Pan. I'm so excited to get started on it. I'm excited for 2023 and what's to come. I have so many ideas and goals that I'm just ready to tackle, and I feel very rejuvenated. I am also ready to just get settled into this house and do DIYs, and also get this and honestly, I want to do more in this studio, and like I have a lot of creative stuff and also some makeup looks. I'm really excited to dive into more products and trying different formulas and seeing what works for me and what isn't. So yeah, if you haven't seen that testing you video, I definitely recommend. It's in my opinion, it's pretty funny. Definitely a shocker for sure on how some products are working and not working as well. But yeah. So hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below if you are doing a project pan this year as well. Are you doing it very similar to how I'm doing it? Or are you doing a different strategy? Are you having more products, less products? How are you doing it? I'm really curious because I would like to adjust it to maybe see if how you're doing it will work for me as well. I have gotten different ideas from like Kelly Gooch, which I'll link her channel down below. She does a great Project Pan series, and she's actually the one that inspired me to do a Project Pan series. So check her out if you haven't already. And, you know, comment down below any of the new products you are wanting me to test. Oh gosh, I'm just so excited with all the new products that are coming out, and I just can't wait to try some of them as well as use up my products, because that's the whole point of Project Pan, is you want to use up the products that you have. And I also don't want to be wasteful. Like, my plan is to keep my makeup collection in this cabinet and not expand to anywhere else. And I want to be definitely a little bit more curated and intentional, but I would love to know what you guys are testing out and what you are panning. So yeah, I really appreciate it when you guys like, comment, and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it is at From Hem to Stem for more up-to-date updates and just different things that are going on. I'm trying to post on there more. And I'm also thinking of starting a different clothing series on there. So I would really love it if you would follow me over on there if you want to check that out. And yeah, I need to go ahead and get going and probably grab some lunch, because I'm starting to get a little hungry. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.